Hi. So today we're going to be earning the name of the title of this channel, which is Bisexual Real Talk, by talking about how to be a confident bisexual woman. But before I get to that, I'm going to mention that my t-shirts are back on Amazon. Yay! So not only do we have short sleeve shirts there now, we have long sleeve shirts as well as sweatshirts and hoodies. But more about that at the end of the video. Until then, let's talk about this very important topic of how to be a confident bisexual woman. And you might be wondering, how is he possibly going to talk about that? It's actually pretty easy how this is all going to happen. I'm going to give you an analogy to kind of explain what basically I'm going to do. So let's first imagine you as a contestant on a game show. It's one of those crazy game shows like Wipeout or some crazy Japanese game show. And you're at the beginning line of this thing and you're told there's going to be an obstacle course, but suddenly the host blindfolds you and says, you're going to have to go through this obstacle course blindfolded. You're probably not going to have much confidence in that, are you? And you're probably going to be walking through it like reaching out with your hands to make sure there's nothing in front of you and reaching your feet out to make sure like the earth is going to drop from under you. And you're going to feel insecure about your journey on this obstacle course. Yes? Yes, of course you are. Now, let's imagine another scenario. Let's say that you're still on this game show, but instead of blindfolding you, they have no blindfold and the host says, this is the obstacle course. You're gonna have to get through the other side. And you look out and there are alligators on chains snapping at you, and they're really close to the path you have to walk. And there are flying piranhas that are snapping at you, but they're on chains. So, they come down, you have to move and stuff like that. And then you have to walk over this bridge between two cliffs where the panels are missing and you could take a step and fall to your death. How would you feel about that? You would probably still feel insecure, but you would feel a lot less insecure than you would have if you had on a blindfold, right? Of course. But let's imagine one more scenario. Let's imagine a scenario where the game show host first takes you to the obstacle course and says, okay, we are going to add piranha who fly and snap at you on chains. And we're going to add alligators on chains. And we're going to knock off some of the panels so you could perhaps slip to your death. But not yet. Right now, we're going to allow you to practice going through the obstacle course without the obstacles so you can get as good as you can possibly get before the obstacles are added. How would you feel then? I'm thinking you're going to feel as confident as you could possibly feel knowing that these things are going to happen, and you're going to have time to practice going through the course before you're put out into the wild and made to go through the crazy things of this game show. Right? Right. So that's what I'm going to be doing in this situation. There are things that we know from studies that bisexual women have to deal with more than any other group, more than lesbians, more than straight women. And it's unfortunate, but we know what they are. So we're going to talk about what those challenges are to bisexual women's confidence. And then we're going to go over ways that we can practice not being shaken by these situations. So first, let's talk about the things that often rattle a bisexual woman's confidence. And there are three main ones. First one, assuming men. Second one, evil lesbians. And the third one, coming out. And I'm going to say that this video is specifically for women, and later on I'll do a video for men, even though one of these things might apply to both. So I'm going to first describe what I mean by each of these three challenges, and then after that I'm going to talk about what you can practice in order to get through these situations with more confidence. So the first thing, what is it? Assuming men. Why am I saying assuming men? Well, sadly, everything we know from anecdotal evidence to actual studies says that when a bisexual woman tells a guy that they are bisexual, there are guys out there who will assume that you are making a statement about your sexual desire, meaning that you are more willing to have sex, you are more willing to do risque things, you are more interested in having threesomes, you are more this, you are more that. And what comes along with that, unfortunately, is men who assume that you are easier to take advantage of sexually, and guys who assume that you are more willing to take abuse. Unfortunately. And I know this is unfair, this is not right, this is not just. I get it. I am a black bisexual man. I know a little something about things being unfair. But the truth is that we all have challenges in life. As a black bisexual man, I have my challenges. Straight men have their challenges. Straight women have their challenges. And this is one of the challenges of being a bisexual woman. But that's okay, because first of all, there's a chance you might not have to go through it. And second of all, even if you go through it, there are things you can practice now that will prevent you from getting into bad situations involving this later. So what are those things that you can practice in order to go through it unscathed? Well, every day, when you have a chance to be alone, you have to practice saying these 4 things. What are those 4 things? No. No, I don't want to. No, I don't want to do that. And stop. That's it. No, no, I don't want to. No, I don't want to do that. Stop. Why am I saying that you should practice these things? Well, because all of us, not just bisexual women, all of us get into situations in life where we know where this path leads. Like, say, for example, a friend comes to you and says, hey, let's do this really stupid thing. And you, because they are your friend, because you want them to like you, because you don't have the strength to say no, you say, sure, let's do this stupid thing, even though you have a really clear sense that this is going to end badly. Why? You do it. Why? Because you don't have practice saying no. And sometimes it's because you feel like you can't say no because you're a woman and you're taught not to say no. So how do you combat that? You combat that by practicing saying no, by hearing yourself say the word no, and no, I don't want to, and no, I don't want to do that, and stop. And then finally, when you feel that you have the confidence that if a situation comes up, you can say those words, then you will have the confidence that when you end up dating in a dating situation, in an awkward situation with an assuming man, you'll have the confidence to know that you can deal with it because you've practiced this. And by doing that, you will dramatically decrease the chances that you will get into a situation that rattles your confidence or that ends up being challenging to your self-esteem. So that's one. Number 2, evil lesbians. Now, I want to be clear that there are some truly, truly wonderful people out there who identify as lesbian. Like just the greatest people. There really are. And there are evil bisexuals out there. I mean, there are really evil bisexuals. Evil has nothing to do with any particular group. But, however, evil lesbians, when they spew their venom, it usually isn't spewed on other lesbians. And it's usually not spewed on men. Their venom tends to be reserved for bisexual women. Which means that if you are going to date, and you are going to date women, the odds are very good that somewhere in your travels, you're going to end up dealing with an evil lesbian. So how can you possibly maintain your confidence when you have an evil lesbian spewing their venom on you? It's by practicing. And what do you practice? Well, you practice how you're going to deal with the situation when it comes about. And you really have to take into consideration what is this going on here. So why does an evil lesbian spew their venom on a bisexual woman? It's because they have figured out that bisexual women will take it. And bisexual women have low enough self-esteem that when a lesbian spews their venom on them, they're going to believe it's real. And by doing that, the evil lesbian will build themselves up and build up their self-esteem at the expense of the bisexual woman. Yeah, it's evil. It really is. There's nothing good about it. A person who does this to another human being is a bad and horrible human being. Plain and simple. No matter what else they do, they're just a bad person. So how do you, what do you practice in order to not get yourself into a situation where it rattles your confidence? You practice calling them out on it. So what are the things that evil lesbians do? Well, one of the things they do is they like to roll their eyes when they hear that you're bisexual. Oh, by the way, I'm bisexual. When that happens, you have to call them out on it. You have to point it out because they're counting on you just letting them get away with it. Why? Because you're a bisexual woman with low self-esteem and they are the superior lesbian. So you have to call them out on it and say, you just rolled your eyes at me. You could choose to make it judgmental. You could choose just to make a statement. But just calling them out on it will rattle them and get them off of the offensive and get them on the defensive because they will realize they're doing something horrible. What's the second thing you should do? You should just call them out completely by saying, I didn't realize that you were a horrible person. And you might hear that and go, oh man, I don't think I can do that. That is why you practice. That's why you have to practice doing this stuff. Because if you don't have a game plan when this happens, here's probably what's going to happen. Some lesbian's going to roll their eyes at you or tell you, when you figure it out, then come back and call me then. Or I am beyond dealing with someone going through a phase. Or some really crappy thing like that. You're just going to freeze. Or you're going to like start backpedaling like, oh, I'm not really a bisexual. I've only dated like blah, blah, blah. You're going to get on the defensive and it's just going to happen. And then later on, when you're alone by yourself, you're going to remember what happened. You're going to feel really bad about yourself because you didn't defend yourself. So by practicing what you're going to say, you will then, when that lesbian rolls her eyes, you will have been able to practice calling them on it right away. Right away. You just rolled your eyes. I didn't realize you were a horrible person. Or let's say that you don't want to use the word horrible. You can say bad. But you have to call them out on it. You have to let them know that what they're doing, you're not going to let them get away with. And by doing that, you build your self-confidence. And by practicing it, you let yourself know that if you were to get in that situation, you can handle yourself. And you know what? You can choose to, once you have the confidence to know that you can handle yourself if the situation comes up, you don't necessarily have to use it. It's all about the confidence that comes with practicing what you're about to say. So what is the third thing that you might be challenged with if you're a bisexual woman? Coming out. Coming out can be quite challenging. It can be challenging for everyone, including bisexual women. And how do you practice coming out? Well, I've talked about this in another video. Your impulse in coming out might be to come out to the people closest to you first. That is not a great idea a lot of the time. Why? Because just because they're close to you doesn't mean they're going to accept you. And you want to be able to practice coming out. So here's what I truly recommend. It's a really great idea. Make a list of everyone you would like to come out to. And then order that list in order of the people who would be the most accepting to the people who would be the least accepting. And that is the order in which you should come out. So Choose the person you think would be the most accepting, and then come out to them. And then see how that feels. Feel the acceptance that comes back from them. Understand and see in that situation that your entire world won't come apart by you coming out. Experience all the things you can from it, and then take that into the next person you want to come out to who might be a little bit more challenging. And as you overcome these obstacles one by one, you will gain confidence in your ability to come out as a bisexual, and just gain confidence that being bisexual doesn't shake, change, rattle who you are, and that you can be a confident person from it. And as a side note, another way to gain confidence in coming out is to first go out and meet other bisexual people. I mean, honestly, out of everything, the thing that a bisexual can do to gain the most confidence in who they are is to meet other bisexuals and see just how common it is, and see just how normal other bisexuals are. So if you would like to be a confident bisexual woman, those are the things that I recommend. Practice how you're going to deal with assuming men, practice how you're going to deal with evil lesbians, and practice coming out. And if you do this, I promise you that you will be a much more confident bisexual than you would otherwise, and it will change the direction of your bisexual life. I hope that was helpful. And if you would like to express your confidence, I have a recommendation for that too. And that is, get one of my t-shirts on Amazon that are Bisexual Pride t-shirts. So I'm glad to say that Amazon finally reinstated my account on Amazon. It was just a Christmas thing that they took down my shirts for. Christmas is over now, so they're back up. So not only do I have my most popular t-shirts in short sleeve, but now I have them in long sleeve. I have sweatshirts now with the most popular symbols, including this one right here, as well as hoodies. So if you'd like to support the channel, please go and check them out. Get a t-shirt, get a lapel pin, and you can also check out my books as well. Links for everything is in the description below, and I really do hope that you do support the channel. You can also support the channel by giving this video a thumbs up and subscribing. I do many videos on bisexual topic, and I release them on a Sunday. But if you'd like to know when a new video comes out, you can of course subscribe, but also you can click on the bell, and by clicking on the bell, you will be telling YouTube that you would like to know when a new video comes out. Until the next video, stay cooler, my bisexual friends. Stay cooler and stay confident. Bye.